Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 43 of A Double and Dice. And today we're going to talk about our Dice Social Roundup. What is a Dice Social Roundup? We haven't really, this is our first time ever doing a Dice Social Roundup.
Like an official one.
Yeah, because what was our theme for Dice Social that passed?
It was She's All That. Is that what we called it?
That's what we called it. She's All That.
And it was focusing on you had to build a team that was designed around one of the 4 female Dice Master card characters that we had talked about in our previous 4 episodes, which were Big Barda,
Thor, Dr. Light,
and Sasquatch. Yes, I'm having a memory problem. It's a serious
For a minute there, I
problem.
thought we're going to go back and forth there, that we didn't practice this. And then I was like, maybe she just doesn't remember.
Well, I thought, okay, I couldn't remember. And then you said the next one. I'm like, okay, great. Then I'll come up with the next one. I'll leave I'll leave a pause so it looked like it meant to be that long in the middle. And then I couldn't remember the next one. And then you did. And then I remembered the last one. And anyway, now here we are.
Right.
So yes, Sasquatch, Big Barda, Dr. Light. And I still can't remember Thor. And that's really bad because Thor's the one I built around.
That was our first one we did too, right?
Yeah, Thor and Jane Foster. So anyway, so we said you need to build a team focused on one of those characters. They need to be the star of your build. And in order to win the game, you had to purchase and field them at some point.
That's right.
That was the rule.
Yep.
So
she's a star.
How did it go?
Make her shine. I don't know. How did it go? No. So we had a mix of characters that people built around, except for one. Nobody built around
Dr. Light.
Yes. Which is odd. But
yeah, because I think that in some ways she had the strongest cards to choose from. But I don't know. It's just she wasn't picked, and I almost picked her, but then I decided to do the Thor route. So this was a pretty good Dice Social, Kim.
We had
I think
6 players.
Yeah, I don't think it was our best attendance ever. I think we had one that was bigger, but it was really good. So we had 5 players plus myself, and then that made 6, so it was even. And then you streamed the event. And where can you see those games, Kim? Are they posted anywhere?
Yes, they're posted on dmNorthTV YouTube channel.
Yay, youtube.com/dmNorthTV.
Yeah.
So Kim has very kindly cut those up into 3 rounds, and we got most of the people on stream.
Yes, we had a new player come out, brand new.
Yeah,
which
Travis.
was nice to have. Yeah, Travis. Hi, Travis.
Hi, Travis. Travis heard about the Dice Social by listening to our podcast.
Oh, there you go.
So really, really appreciate that you listened, Travis, and amazing work on coming out, by the way, because that was Travis's first time actually playing Dice Masters with people.
Yes.
He'd never played before with other folks, and he came out onto Twitch and to dm-north.com and found us at the Hangouts room. And yeah, he did really well. He had a team. He met the theme, and he was able to. He beat me in the last round. So it came down to life when we hit our 35 minutes, and he beat me by 1 life. So he did really well, and he was getting a really good understanding and grasp of some of the concepts. Like I remember you and I, Kim, have talked about learning how to play and being confused about things like globals and action dice, and he was really picking it up.
Yeah, good.
So that was great. It was great work, Travis, and we were really happy you came, and we really hope that you will come out to future Dice Socials or other online Dice Master events.
Yep. Yeah, he's been at Weekly Dice Arena, so I know he was watching, and then this past Weekly Dice Arena, he played a few games, so he stepped in He stepped out to make it even, and then stepped in when we had players had to leave. So that was nice of him.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that you had a good time, Travis, playing in the Weekly Dice
Day.
Arena hosted by Dice Social.
Yep. Until Ross comes back.
I mean, does he need to come back, Kim? You're doing a fantastic job.
I know, right?
We should just rebrand it.
Yeah.
You hear that, Ross? We're gonna rebrand your stream. Dice Social presents the Weekly Dice Arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need like a fanfare.
He could be on screen. We could have his head there.
Yeah. We have drum rolls, but we don't have any fanfare. If anyone wants to put some fanfare out there for us, does anyone play like a trumpet or a bugle or something?
I'm sure there's people who play instruments out there.
Absolutely there are. After all, we get all of our drum rolls from
Andy
May.
And our awesome songs from Chris Williams.
Maybe we'll have to insert the song at the end of this one, Kim. Okay, so let's talk about the folks that came out. So there was me, there was you, there was Travis. We've talked about those folks. We had Rob came out, and we had Ryan, Raw Travel, and we had Danielle, Danica, and then we had Mike, Mr. Spin.
Yep.
And that was the 6 of us that played, plus Kim, who did all important pairing, streaming, making decisions, etc. stuff. So
hosting.
Yeah. So should we talk a little bit about the teams?
Yeah, sure. Ryan?
Sure.
All right.
Let's start with him.
So he had a Sasquatch team. And he picked the rare one, which had the Overcrush on it.
He had a Sasquatch team?
Yes, I believe so. Is that what I clicked the wrong link?
You clicked the wrong link because Ryan had a Thor team.
Oh, wait. Hold on. You know what? This thing labeled it like the backwards way. 1 second.
The backwards way? Backwards, upside down?
I opened them all. So instead of going in the order of how I opened it, it went the other way.
Oh, yeah. Ryan played a Thor team. I did not play him, but I know Travis did. And when I played Travis in the last round, he knew that some of the cards I was playing because because Ryan was playing some of them.
Yeah. So Ryan brought a Thor team. Immortals team.
That's right. Yeah, Immortal Focused. So he had Thor female, which was the common, and she is Warrior Spirit. She's immortal, and she cannot be damaged by villain character dice or action dice, and she has the Thor Global that we talked about in our episode. Pay a shield, target attacking character die goes to the use pile if KO'd this turn. And then he threw some other immortals on. So he had Sif, Daughter of Asgard, Hela, Stealer of Souls, Heimdall, Guardian of the Bifrost, which included the all-important global pay a mask. Once per turn on your turn, you may prep 2 sidekick dice from your use pile. He also included Jane Foster Survivor, which is the one that makes the immortal characters have a fielding cost of 0 while she's active. Yarnborn, the rare, which gives you the Fist Fixer, so pay 0, so you take a sidekick and turn it to its fist face. And it allows you to purchase a character die with immortal for 3 less and add it to your bag. And if you roll it on double burst, you get to purchase it for 4 less, minimum 1. And then he had Atlantis, City and Stronghold, which is kind of off-brand, Ryan. I'm a little disappointed. But it was there for I would imagine it was there for the fact that it had the sidekick fielding global and the prep global, as well as the fact that you can take any dice that you rolled during your roll and reroll step and put them back in your prep area to help him buy some of his more expensive stuff. And then he had Kree Captain. For the Kree Captain global, pay 2 fists. Once per turn, the next character die you purchase this turn costs 3 less. And then he threw in Get Thee Hence and Flying Hammer. So most of his team came from Thor set. And although I had some of the same characters on my team, I didn't have these versions. I did not run the Immortal team. So
yeah, because he used Yarnborn to get them all cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, he used Yarnborn to get them cheap. He used Atlantis for prep and for fielding sidekicks. He had Kree Captain to reduce his costs. He had Jane Foster to make his fielding cost 0. So
yeah, more
that was great. And then Get Thee Hence is a great action card to put with a Immortals team because it says deal 1 damage to target player or character die. If you have an active character die with Immortal, instead deal 2 damage. So So that's pretty cool. And then Flying Hammer is a little bit of removal. KO a target level 1 character die on a double burst. Instead, KO a target level 1 or a level 2 character die. And it has the global pay a fist. Target blocked character die deals no damage. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff going on in that team. I wish I'd had the opportunity to play it. So Ryan, if that team's still kicking around, maybe you and I should put that team against my Thor team and see how it went. So
yeah, I've never played Immortals before.
I've never played Immortals well. Does that count?
But you've tried.
Well, I don't think I had all the pieces when I first started trying to play them. Like, I think having yarn board is a big piece. Also, when the Thor set came out, I wasn't like drafting or playing with anyone really except Rob. So that's a thing.
Yeah, Ryan was actually on stream twice, so you could take a look at his.
So there you go. So you can take two looks.
Take a look at his team.
2 looks
Yep.
at his team, his Sasquatch team.
Sorry, that was the wrong link. His Thor female theme.
There you go. Next up, we had Rob, and Rob decided to build around Big Barda. So he had a Big Barda team. Hell hath no fury, and that's the common. While she's active, other new gods character dice get +2A and +2D. He paired Big Barda up with the other new gods that are available, which are Mr. Miracle and Orion. So he ran Mr. Miracle Death Defying, which is the uncommon. When Mr. Miracle is KO'd, you may move another character die from your field zone into your prep area. If you do, return Mr. Miracle to the field zone at level 3. And then Orion was the second son, which is also the uncommon. When Orion deals combat damage to your opponent, you may pay 1. If you do, you may move him to your prep area instead of the use pile. So not your favorite Orion.
No.
But your favorite Orion Kim is probably a little overpowered for a dice social.
Yeah, it's not a green card.
Yeah. He then decided to throw in Mary Jane, who is an ally, 2-cost mask, and when fielded, target non-villain character die you control gains Overcrush this turn. It also says if you targeted Spider-Man, he also gets +1A, but there was no Spider-Man on the team. He threw in Felicity Smoke, which says when fielded, you may change one of your sidekick character dice to its question mark side. Renee Tilly, when fielded, you may move a die from your reserve pool to your use pile to roll a different die from your use pile and place it in your reserve pool. And then Rip Hunter, which is it was a big one for Rob. He really liked that back in the day, and he played a lot of it. So when he was building this team, I said, hey, why don't you throw your Rip Hunter on? It's Navigate the Sands of Time. While Rip Hunter is active, once during your clear and draw step, when you draw dice from your bag, you may send any number of them to the use pile and draw 1 new die for each of them. So it's a really good way to make sure you get the dice you want in your turn and to churn dice you don't want and put them in your use pile. And because they don't go through your reserve pool, they're going directly from your bag to your use pile. They don't go out of play. So then you can interact with them.
I don't remember if he bought Rip Hunter. He is on stream too.
Yeah.
He played Ryan, but I can't remember if he did.
I don't know if he bought him in all of his games, but it's definitely a fun card. And if you haven't played around with that one, I recommend it. And then he put on Nihilor for the global. Pay a mask once per turn. You may KO a character die you control because that helped him with his Mr. Miracle. He could KO Mr. Miracle and then bring him back at level 3 if he wanted to, so he could get his when fielded effects going. His when fielded with Mary Jane, his when fielded with Felicity Smoke. For action dice, he threw on Throne Brick. Fan favorite, personal favorite of mine, to churn his bag and get some prep, deal 1 damage to target character die. If that character die is not KO'd, prep a die from your bag and add this die to your prep area. And then Walk with Elias, which is a fun action if you ever play it. Not a lot of people do. Secretly draw 1, 2, or 3 dice from your bag. If your opponent guesses the number of dice you drew, put them in your use pile. Otherwise, prep them. And it also has the global on it, which is the same as the Heimdall global, but on a basic action. Pay a mask once per turn on your turn. Add 2 psychic dice from your use pile to your prep area. So So yeah, so this was a fun team. I liked what he did there. His idea was get Mr. Miracle and Orion out and buff them with Big Barda because she's active. The new gods get +2A and +2D, and then field a Mary Jane and give them Overcrush.
Yep.
So that was the team that Rob built. I sort of helped him build that just before the Dice Social got going, and it was fun to build that team together.
So that's 1 for Thor and 1 for Big Barda.
Okay. Should we do me last, Kim? Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's look at Danielle's team.
I already clicked yours. Okay.
Well, that's not my problem.
All right.
I'm
so
gonna
Danielle brought a Thor team as well, right?
She did, yeah. She brought Thor Thunderer from Age of Ultron, 7-cost shield, prevent all non-combat damage to Thor. And her team was entirely female focused.
Yes. She had asked if it had to be female, and we said, no, but if you want to, go for it. And she did.
Yeah. Bonus points to Danielle for building a fully female team.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about this one, Kim?
Sure. So she had the Thor that Jocelyn just said. She brought Zatanna. So when she's KO, draw a die from your bag and add it to your prep. Wasp, which is when she's active, when an opponent uses an action die, deal 1 damage to that opponent. I think she had that one on you because you were on stream with her first game.
She did, yep. And
she had bought that one.
It was difficult, and I took some damage from it because I had Throne Bricks. Spoiler alert.
Jade, which is when Jade is KO, draw a die and add it to your prep. So another prepping one, just like Zatanna almost. She-Hulk, which is when she's active at the start of your turn before your Clarion draw step, you may field a non-psychic character die from your use pile at level 1. Supergiant, which is a regenerate Supergiant. Black Widow, which is when fielded, your character dice get +1. Which also has a global that pay a fist once per turn. Target character die must attack this turn. Which I know you used against her. Spoiler alert. And last was Nebula. When fielded, deal 3 damage to target character die and lose 1 life.
Yep. And then she ran Big Entrance for that a fantastic discount and putting dice directly into your bag instead of your use pile. And Counter Strike, because she did have some cards that shared affiliation, so she could have purchased it to prep a die from that affiliation, and then any others go to the use pile, or from the use pile to your bag. And then also had the prep global pay 1 once during your turn, prep a psychic die from your use pile. So it was a pretty good team. And that Wasp was super annoying when I was playing it because I had a bunch of action dice that I was playing, and at some point I just decided to take damage. So, because I wasn't able to get rid of Wasp all the time. I did eventually.
Most Wasp cards out there are kind of, nobody likes it. She's got some good ones.
Yeah. There are definitely some good Wasp cards. We might want to use her in future, Kim, for a future Wasp. Yeah.
The only thing I would recommend for her team is I know she went all ladies here, but a Nylor Global would have helped her.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if she played Rob because Rob brought that global.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, with her 1 KO'd with Zatanna and Jade to prep, and then she had a 1 fielded, right? Yeah, Nebula. So if she ever bought Nebula,
and she did buy Nebula against me.
Okay.
Yeah, because she
would get stuck in the field.
Yeah,
with her KO'd, big defense.
She KO'd one of my dice and then took a damage. So yeah. Then we went to, let's go to Mr. Spin.
Okay.
And Mr. Spin built a
Sasquatch team, same as
that's right.
Not Ryan. So Overcrush Sasquatch. No, this is the one that actually I pulled up first.
Yes.
So this is
the one that you
Overcrush.
Thought was Ryan's team, but it's not.
Overcrush. Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Which also when your opponent
uses a global ability to spin Sasquatch up 1 level. Yeah. So so this was a really good team here. So there's Sasquatch. Well, I'll let you talk about it, Kim, because I can talk about my team in a minute.
All right, so you have Sasquatch, which has Overcrush. He Had a few exiles on the team as well, because Sasquatch has the exiles affiliation. So he put on Sabretooth, which actually is a promo card. When active, your exiles get +1 plus 1D. And Morph, which is also a promo card, when Morph is active, when one of your exile character dice would be dealt damage, instead that damage is dealt to Morph. So
it's like a little Exiles sub theme.
Yeah. Redirect damage, that's good. He brought Scarlet Witch, which is when active. I'm laughing because this is the one that stops all your pretty much your action dice.
Mm-hmm.
So if your opponent rolls an action dice during their roll and reroll step, if it lands on an action phase, they cannot reroll it. If it lands on an energy phase, they have to keep it as is. Nova
Also
Corp.
super annoying when you're playing Throne Bricks, FYI.
Did you play, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Nova Corp, when fielded, equipped to a character, that character die gets +2A +2D. If that character die leaves the field zone, send this to the use pile. So he would use Nova Corp to attach it to Sasquatch. So Sasquatch will get bigger, and then she has Overcrush. And then Groot, which I guess he did it for the global, maybe?
Yeah.
So the global on here is pay a shield, choose an affiliation of a character die you feel in this turn. Move a character die with that affiliation from a use pile to your bag. So I guess maybe to work with the exiles a bit. I don't think he was to purchase that. Lex Luthor. So when Lex Luthor is active, damage from the first character die that damage you... Okay, let me read that again. Damage from the first character die that damages you each turn is reduced to 1. If multiple character dice would damage you at the same time, choose 1 to reduce to 1. So that's
also
not
super
that
annoying.
bad. Yeah, that's not a bad card. I think he played... I thought he was on stream and we had played Ryan. I think I remember seeing that one in action. And then I was like, ooh, that's a...
Super annoying. Good job.
That's a neat card. I gotta keep that one in mind. And then last he had was Beast. Beast can only be blocked by 2 or more character dice. He also had Counter Strike on his team for basic actions and Resurrection. Look at that, Res.
Yay! I was wishing for more res in this game. In these games.
Did he get a lot of Sasquatches out, or was he one kind of overcrush it with the one?
He had one Sasquatch, if I remember correctly, and he was there was definitely against me a Scarlet Witch. He bought a Nova Core. The Lex Luthor was annoying.
Yeah, because every damage that goes to you is only to 1. Get you and take 1, right?
Well, the first one, or
the first
if
one.
you multiples would happen at the same time, then you choose 1 to reduce to 1.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Neat card.
So yeah, it was a really well put together team. Mike did a good job on that one. Yeah.
That's cool. So
we don't have a team link for Travis because it was his first time out, and I don't think he was familiar with the Dice Coalition team builder, and that's totally fine because we don't require team links for Dice Social. If you make one, that's great. It's helpful to your opponent, but if you don't worry. Just come out and bring some cards, right? So, but Travis was playing a big Barda team. He had a Mr. Miracle on there, and I don't remember the specifics of the rest of the team, but it was a good team. He put together a really good team for his first crack at playing out live, and just a really good team in general. So it was a lot of fun to play him when I played him in round 3. So great work, Travis, and welcome to the online community.
So that gives us 2 Sasquatches, 2 Thors, 1 big Barda. What did Jocelyn bring?
Who's the second Sasquatch?
Wait, did I get that wrong?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. It was 2 big Barda, 2 Thor, 1 Sasquatch.
Yes. And I played Thor.
And she broke the tie.
So I doubled down. I did Thor and Jane Foster, similar to Ryan, but I did not run, as I mentioned, I didn't run the Immortals version. So I went with the super rare Thor from the Thor set. Understand what it means to be mortal. It's a 6-cost shield. When Thor attacks, until end of turn, prevent the first 2 damage to each of your other attacking character dice. And the same global that is on the other Thor version, which is pay a shield, target attacking character die, goes to the use pile if KO'd this turn. So that was pretty cool, because if I attack, you can't necessarily KO my people even if you have good attack stats, because the first 2 damage are going to be prevented when she attacks. Right?
Great.
So, what was I going to do with the Thor? I decided to put Jane Foster Hospital Romance on. She's a 2-cost shield. She's an ally. When Jane Foster is KO'd, you may field a Thor character die from your use pile for free on the same level Jane Foster was on. So that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to buy Jane Foster. I wanted to get a Thor in my use pile, get Jane Foster KO'd, and then field Thor. That was the plan. And it worked at least once. So, other support pieces I had on there, I had the Wrecker Demolition Man, uncommon. When Wrecker attacks, target opposing character die must block Wrecker if able, but mostly there for the global. Pay 2 fists, target character die must block this turn, and a different target character die gets +1A this turn. So the idea was to force people to block my Jane Foster and KO her. Right?
Okay, yeah.
What else did I have? I had Heimdall, same Heimdall that Ryan used for the global. Pay a mask once per turn on your turn. You may prep 2 sidekick dice from your use pile. I had Crystal, Crystalia Amaquilin. While Crystal is active during your roll and reroll step, you may reroll your action dice 1 additional time. That does not work if your opponent is running Scarlet Witch, Mike. Which is, we did play it correctly.
She's not bitter.
I'm not bitter at all. He made a good team. So that was there. I played the Bifrost, Bridge Between Realms. That's the rare, which has the shield fixer, because I had quite a number of shield dice on my team, as well as some shield globals. And then it says, when you field a character die from your reserve pool, you may field target character die in your use pile on the same level for free. So that was the purpose of that. And that's actually the first time I did anything with that card. So I made a trade like ages and ages and ages ago, back when Thor was still modern, probably in 2019, with Bodhi, who I haven't seen around in a while. I'm not sure if he's still playing Dice Masters or not, but I traded with Bodhi and got that card. So
nice.
So that was awesome. And I finally put the team together, and you know what? That's a really cool card. It really helped me field some expensive Thor dice, because her fielding costs are 1, 2, 3. So
yeah.
And also the Sif. So I ran Sif, Fairest of the Fair. While Sif is active, if one of your other character dice is damaged, Sif cannot be blocked until end of turn. Hence the annoyance of the Lex Luthor, Mike. Because here I had this lovely Sif that couldn't be blocked with like a 5 attack, and he's
1.
like, "Oh, I'll just replace that with a 1." I'm like, "What?"
It's a good Sif card, though. I like it.
It is a good Sif card.
Brick to do it.
It is a good Sif card, and that was the idea. I would use the thrown brick to damage one of my dice, and then she can't be blocked. So I had Absorbing Man in there. While he is active, when KO'd effect is used, I can use a copy of that effect, such as Jane Foster. When she's KO'd, I can field a Thor character die. If I had multiple Thors, didn't actually trigger. And then I ran Investigation and Throne Brick, and that's why the Scarlet Witch was challenging, because I had a lot of action dice rolling around in my bag, and also the Bifrost, because the Bifrost is an action die. So
yeah.
But anyway, it was all in good fun, and there were definitely ways for me to get rid of specific dice. I could force block them. I could basically do that. If they were attacking, I mean, you wouldn't really attack with Scarlet Witch unless you had to, but if you did, I could use the Thor Global to throw the attacking die into the use pile if KO'd. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I want to put a big thanks out to Rob, who helped me build this team. Just before the Dice Social there, we were helping each other build our teams, and we were putting it together and making sure we had all of the different costs and energy types and globals and actions that we needed, and it was a really fun time, and I'm really glad that we got to get out. And it was great to see some newer folks, because although Ryan is a fixture of the online scene, Danielle and Mike are still relatively new, right, Kim?
Yeah, Danielle is new, but Mike's been around. He's been playing pretty much any event.
Yeah, but only for like the last 6 months or something?
I think so. He can
I feel like
correct us if it's longer.
I feel like
Danielle's
it's
maybe a
still
couple of
new.
months, a month or
Yeah.
two. So, and Travis is brand new, and
Yeah, brand new, and it was great, and everyone was fantastic, and we had a really good time, and it was a lot of fun. So we are going to make sure all of these team links are in our show notes, right, Kim?
Yep.
So that if you wanted to test out these teams, you could, or if you wanted to make suggestions on how we could make the teams better, go for that as well. I can certainly say for me, I was trying to build in set because, as I mentioned, I was building kind of last minute because I wasn't prepared. Spoiler alert. Still pulling dice at the beginning of the streams, not prepared.
Yeah.
Nope, not ready yet, Kim. Keep talking. So I was trying to build the team basically out of one set. So all of my cards came out of the Thor set except for Throne Brick, and that's an easy
I'm
one
a
to
little
pull,
I'm a
so.
little disappointed there.
Why?
You went all set and went off once card once.
I needed the ramp, Kim. Investigation's
Well,
not enough. Did you see how much my characters cost?
yeah,
There's
you
a
should have put
6
on
cost.
you should put
There's
on
a
the
6 cost. There's a 6 cost. And then 2 4 costs. So.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Anyway.
That's okay. You can hound me because I didn't make a team, right?
Yeah, you didn't even build a team, Kim.
I would have built around Dr. Light.
Would you have, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Because I would have built Sasquatch, but Overcrush, I'm like, I wouldn't do Overcrush. So,
well, I think that is a challenge, Kim, that you need to build a Dr. Light team, and we will talk about that particular team in our next episode.
Okay, fine.
Come on, you can do it.
Okay.
All
right.
So if you attended Dice Social, whether that was as a player or in the viewers, I think we had some viewers, didn't we, Kim?
I believe so.
Yeah. So there were some people in the Twitch chat.
Red Mage came out, and
possibly
Donnie,
some other folks.
Yeah,
okay.
I think popped in. So
yeah. And so if you attended or watched or would like to build a team and provide some suggestions, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll go over all the places that you can reach us at the end of the episode.
Bum, bum, bum.
So we're going to move into a new section, Kim, of this podcast.
You gonna go to that? You don't want to do upcoming events?
No, we should save that for the end.
Okay, here's the new.
Okay. This is the new segment. We don't have segments, but this is our new segment. It is called the Pop Culture Trainwreck Department, and it was so named by Rob. So really, really appreciate Rob reaching out and chatting with us. So first off, in episode 42, which is always the answer, FYI, we both made some rather egregious errors in pop culture references. So the first thing was that I referenced Tom Petty as being Canadian because I thought he was Canadian. He seems Canadian, like he should be Canadian. But
maybe apparently, he has dual citizenship.
Apparently he is not Canadian. Tom Petty is 100% not Canadian. He is an American singer, songwriter, musician, record producer, and actor. And he is from, where is he from? I looked it up before and now I can't remember. I'm ruining it again. He's from America. He's from Florida.
There you go.
He was born in Florida. And unfortunately, he died far too young in 2017 in California. And that was very sad. And Tom Petty was an awesome guy. And I just assumed he was Canadian because he was so awesome. So that was my bad. So that is the first part of our pop culture train wreck segment. The next part was Kim's reference to the Marshmallow Man. And I wasn't 100% right because I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm like, are you sure that's the Marshmallow Man?
Okay, so let's make sure everybody knows. I thought it was the Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters 2 that puts up the 2
in the poster.
On the poster.
But it's not. It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
It was a ghost flashing two fingers like in a peace sign.
I was 100% sure it was the Marshmallow Man. It's not the Marshmallow. It should have been the Marshmallow. It should be the Marshmallow Man. Anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is our pop culture train wreck department. And if you have any other things that you would like to throw into the pop culture train wreck department, I am sure that we have said other things in the past. So anyone who has any of that stuff, we would love to share with you the corrections, because we're good at that.
Yep.
We are good at internet research. We are not good at making things up on the spot. So,
or pop culture, that is.
yeah, we can make up other things on the spot. We do that all the time. No one can tell. So, yeah, should we dive into the dice bag?
Yes, let's get into the dice bag.
So we'll start with Rob's rest of his comment, which was he believes that the High Father might be Darkseid himself, but he's no expert on DC, and he did say that our episode was fun, and that's in reference to our Dr. Light episode that we just had, episode 42, Always the Answer. We always heard...
Are you calling that episode the answer episode?
Always the... Well, 42 is Always the Answer. Just Google that,
I see
Kim.
what you mean. Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay.
And like in all kinds of pop culture things, the number 42 appears in stuff. It's like a Easter egg or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. We heard from everyone's fave hero, Donnie. Where did Donnie leave us that feedback, Kim?
YouTube.
As always. Donnie says, never played Dr. Light, although he hasn't played many cards from the Green Arrow and the Flash set. He would love to draft that set sometime soon. The Star Labs card is in that set, which makes sidekicks, so in set she could be pretty good, although there's also things that change sidekicks to energy. So the Green Arrow and the Flash set did have the first version of the energy fixers, right? There was one on Merlin, there was one on Gorilla Grodd. I don't know who the others were.
I was going to say Cyclops, but not Cyclops.
No, Cyclops was absolutely not in the Green Arrow and the Flash set, Kim. I am Cyborg, maybe, is what you're trying to get at?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
And I don't know who the fourth one was. Cyborg was Bolts, right?
Wasn't it Clayface?
Oh, probably. Clayface would have been the masks. Gorilla Grodd was the fists. And Merlin was Bolts, wasn't he? So maybe Cyborg was shields. I don't have all of those ones, so I'm not sure.
We're train wrecking Dice Masters now.
No, we aren't. So yeah, but there's nothing wrong with fielding a sidekick with the Star Labs Global, which is similar to the Atlantis Global, just different energy types, which is you prep one and you field one from your use pile. Prep a sidekick and field one as a sidekick die. Star Labs is a fist bolt, I think. Or is it bolt shield?
Well, there's also Atlantis, which is... So Star Labs is bolt shield, and a fist shield, I think, is the Atlantis.
Yeah. So Atlantis is in modern, and Star Labs was in golden now. So he says Daisy Johnson was Guardians of the Galaxy, but yes, it was that one. I don't remember what that was in reference to. Daisy Johnson. We were talking about She-Hulk, maybe. The Hulk that when Power of Attorney, when she gets damaged, you can do it with Daisy Johnson. It was probably in the feedback.
That she spins up, and if she can't spin up anymore, you deal damage or something?
No, you pay up to 3 shields and deal that many damage to characters.
Right, okay.
So she wasn't in set with the Hulk Power of Attorney, but she was a good combo. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy set.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're talking about that combo, which came up in conversation in our last episode, which is the Daisy Johnson and Hulk combo, those cards were not in the same set. So again, yes, we are butchering Dice Masters. He also says that shield, and I believe that is like S period, H period, I period, E period, L period, D period, shield, is my second favorite affiliation.
Oh, right. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, okay.
Yes. He says he likes these videos. I think he means the podcast that we've been working on with the female focused, and he can't wait to get back to them, but he's also excited to see what's next in the Double and Dice podcast. So cool. That's awesome. So thanks, Donnie, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode where we talked more about female characters in Dice Masters when we said we weren't going to. I'm smiling. Okay. We got a bunch of feedback from a couple of other folks who were making some suggestions when we mentioned that we wanted to come up with a name for our fans,
Right.
right? And I'm just going to come out and say it. Some of them were purposefully not safe for work. NSFW. And we're not going to read those out on air, on podcast, but they were funny, and we certainly enjoyed reading the suggestions that were made. And that was pretty good. We heard from a Jackalope spam who said that we were talking about coffee in general, just because coffee came up and different variations of coffee came up in some of the suggestions we may have received from some people that we're not reading on the air. And he said that coffee is just an acquired taste I've not wanted to acquire. The funny thing is I love dark chocolate covered espresso beans and mocha ice cream, but hot beverage plus bitter aftertaste is a no-go for me. He's liked some of his wife's iced coffees occasionally, but they're also full of sugar, so why bother when I could drink a Coke? So I hear what you're saying, Nick. I do. I honestly didn't start drinking coffee until like 4 years ago. I didn't like it at all. I loved the way it smelled.
Okay.
But I did not like the way it tasted. And it wasn't until I started drinking espresso that I got into coffee. And to this day, I still prefer and will stay away from drip coffee.
Okay.
And focus exclusively on espresso or very strong dark roasts.
So espresso, like plain espresso, like espresso shot, not mixed with anything?
Yeah, like an espresso shot or an espresso shot mixed with milk to make a latte or a cappuccino.
Right. Yep.
Or an Americano, an espresso shot that's watered down a little bit with some hot water. But I don't put anything in it. Like if I'm drinking it, unless it's milk, because it's like a latte or a flat white or a cappuccino, there's no sugar or there's no milk. Right? So it's just a shot of espresso, or a shot of espresso as Americano with no milk or no sugar in it. So yeah, it is bitter, but it's a strong flavor. And if it's brewed correctly, and like the water's not too hot and not too cold, you get less bitterness and you get more flavor. And I have really started to enjoy coffee in a way that I didn't before.
Yeah, Nick's drinking the wrong coffee.
That would be my thought
because
too,
coffee is it's based on the beans. It's the right beans, how it's made. Because I wouldn't drink bitter coffee, but I've been drinking coffee for a long time.
Yeah,
I can't even tell you, like high school, maybe before high school. I don't know.
I honestly didn't start until like it was probably 4 years ago now, if that. I'm just trying to think. It was either 3 or 4 years ago now that I started drinking coffee. I think it was 4. But anyway, not important. So, I didn't drink it before, and now I do. I still sort of do it in moderation because I can be very sensitive to caffeine.
Right.
So I typically only drink it in the morning. I rarely drink it in the afternoon or the evening. And if I do, it's just because I do not expect to be going to bed anytime soon.
You need like a perk up.
Yeah. So, some of the suggestions we received that were safe for work that we could repeat on air. The caffeinated, socialites, orbitally stricken. Those all came from our friend Chris over at the Ministry of Dice.
See, it's like orbital strike, except it's
orbitally stricken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little long, but I like the ring of it.
Long.
So socialites sounds kind of cool.
I need one worders.
Socialites is one word. Yeah. So,
caffeinated.
but it's a long word. So we're gonna continue to take suggestions on what you might like to be called as our fan base.
Yeah. What did we call in episode 42? I forgot what we actually said.
Double and dicers or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was way too long.
Yes. That's too long.
So we're continuing to take suggestions. If anyone has any ideas of what we could do, we want to sort of start implementing something. Let us know.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, Kim, I'm going to turn it over to you for coming events.
All right. So, upcoming on Saturday, October 23rd, which is, if you think about it, it's not that far. It's not that far away because October is just around the corner. Is Roll
And
for the
will be
North.
when this episode comes out.
Roll for the
It'll be
North.
October 4th.
Roll for the North.
2.
There you go.
I
was
missed the
waiting
cue.
for it.
Oh my gosh.
And that is 2 with the ghost people from the Ghostbusters.
Not a marshmallow man?
I wish it was the Marshmallow Man. I want to eat him.
The Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man.
Yes. So that is happening, and if you visit dm-north.com, you will see all our details there. It is a double single affiliation tournament. Do you remember what that was, Jocelyn?
I do. Half of your team, aka 4 of your character cards, have to be one affiliation, and the other half of your team has to be a second affiliation that is not the same as the first affiliation. And if you choose an affiliation that has less than 4 characters available, you are forfeiting the remainder of those 4 spots. So if you just absolutely have to play the hand, which has 1 character with the affiliation, then you're running a maximum 5-card team.
That's right. And it's Marvel DC only, so only from the Marvel and DC sets. Whatever affiliation you pick, you have to pick the basic action from that
That universe.
universe. Yes, I was going to say universe, but I figured it was a different name.
No, universe works.
Yeah.
So if you have half your team is Marvel and half your team is DC, for example, you'll have to have 1 Marvel basic action and 1 DC basic action.
Yeah. And we have a ban list.
There's a bunch of other fancy rules too, right, Kim?
Oh yeah, there's lots of fancy
We're
rules.
not going to talk about those.
No, we won't get into it. Just visit the website, and we'll have all the details there. You can sign up now on Challenge. You can visit the Discord channel, and there is a channel under there called Roll for the North 2. Actually, I think it says Roll for the North 2021, Matt. It doesn't say 2. So it has details in there.
We could change it.
Yes,
we have the power.
We have the power. So yeah, that's coming up in a few weeks. So if you
by the time you hear this, you'll have like 2 weeks to build your team.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, come on, have some fun and Roll for the North. And then also coming up right after Roll for the North in the next month over, which is November 13th, which is also a Saturday, is Gaming versus Cancer that the Ministry of Dice puts on.
That's right. And it will be all virtual this year. We have just learned. And this is breaking news, hot off the Discord press today, that this will be happening. So more details to follow. We basically know nothing except the date at this point.
Yep.
And that it's going to be virtual. So save the date for Gaming versus Cancer and help the Ministry of Dice raise some money to, kick cancers behind.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. So you can visit their website at britroller6.com for details on that when it comes out.
Yeah, which will come out at some point.
Yep. And other than that, our weekly events that happen, we have weekly Dice Stream that happens Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right now it's being hosted by us, Dice Social, on dmNorthTV Twitch. I haven't heard from Ross yet, so we'll see. I don't know when he's going to be back. But I'll continue hosting until we hear from him. And Thursdays is Dice Fight that happens. I almost forgot the name there. Dice Fight that happens at 4:00 Eastern time. I believe all that's through the Discord channel, so you can take a look there for the theme. I think they post it on their website too.
Yeah, they posted on their website, dmunited.eu, and the themes are also in the Discord.
Right. And that's all that happens weekly.
And Dice Social happens typically monthly, but we're skipping October because of Roll for the North.
Yes.
Roll for the North.
2.
There you see. I'm not the only one that missed the cue. So that is we're not going to be doing a Dice Social in October for that reason, and we will probably come back in November if we can get a date sorted. So
yes.
Okay.
Awesome. We can reach
I think that's all we got for the podcast today, Kim.
I think that's it.
All right. So where can you find us? You can find us on our website at dm-north.com. You can find myself on Discord at JoStitch, J-O-C-E Stitch, and Kim at Super K. also on the Discord. You can find us on all of the socials at dmNorthTV. That includes Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also our Twitch channel, as previously mentioned, and YouTube are twitch.tv/dmNorthTV or youtube.com/dmNorthTV. So until next time, on a double double and dice.
Double double and dice are really nice. They are part of DM North, even though they get cold, they still roll. Every month at the Dice Social, there ain't nothing online that's as good a time as losing life to an orbital strike. If they use Becky Lynch, it'll be a cinch because, oh, hey, it's just for the global. I promise, it's just for the global. I won't buy it.